The C Spire text line, Ken says you call that deer a wildlife cross-dresser. So thanks, Ken. Fernwood. I've never heard. I've been deer hunting for a long time. I've never heard one of those. Well, it must have been quite a bit of a shock. Ryan Miller, Executive Director, Office of Workforce Development, and Garrett McInnis, Deputy Director of External Affairs, Office of Workforce Development, have joined us this morning. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Glad to be
It's good to see both of you guys in the studio, and we thank you so very, very much.
Absolutely.
Workforce Development, man, I don't know. We have a lot of things that we're working on, and I thank you both for bringing us up to date. But what's the good news as we end 2021?
Yeah, well, the good news is we've got a lot of momentum. And I think you're going to see that we've got a lot of, besides momentum, we've got a lot of cooperation amongst other state agencies and organizations that are finally coming together. I think as we've visited in the past, there's been a lot of disjointedness between state agencies tasked with trying to solve the workforce conundrum. And what we've got now is you're starting to see a growing momentum behind that coordination effort. So we're really excited to start the new year fresh. Got a growing office and team that's expanding. So got a lot of things ahead that I think are going to be great for the state of Mississippi.
Garrett, what are you tasked with there in that office?
Well, we're a small office, and even as we're growing rapidly, it's all hands on deck across the board. But when you talk external affairs, I mean, certainly you're talking, interagency cooperation, dealing with, governmental affairs. But one of the biggest tasks, and I think one of the biggest tasks for workforce development initiatives across the state in general is communication. Some of that's public relations, but really we talk about communication. There are massive groups of people who need to know what assets and opportunities exist for them out there. I mean, there's the hundreds of thousands of Mississippians who either want to get off the bench and get in a good career, or are in a career that they don't feel fulfilled or feel like is up to their potential and want to get in a better opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then the communication piece for employers. There's a massive group of employers right now who need people, and they needed them yesterday. Mm-hmm. And so how do we connect those employers with either training or educational institutions that can help them, or directly with people that want to come to work?
Don't think it's getting any better either, because you start looking at some of the numbers, and Ryan, when you look at some of these numbers, you got to shake your head. Where are these people? How are they surviving out there? Are they all living in mom and dad's basement? But where are they?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point, and I think that's a question. We were talking to some employers just last week. We were asking the same question. They've got needs, they have opportunities. I really do think that there's a population here in the state, and this is ubiquitous across the country, Paul. This is not something that's just significant here in Mississippi, but there's a distinct population that I really do believe is wanting to jump back into the game or get off the bench, as Garrett just described, and it's a matter of us assuming they know that the opportunities are out there. And you can't listen to the radio or turn on the TV or get on the internet without seeing opportunity, but I do think we've got to do a better job of reaching those folks and understanding the obstacles that many of them are facing to get back into the workforce.
Nobody wants to say this, but in 2021 right now, you're probably going to be maxed out on what you can get, what your value is as a worker that is for a totally unskilled job, where in 1,000 people in the untrained people, anybody can pick up and go to work that day and do it. I mean, there are things like holding a sign. You're probably going to be maxed out on what is affordable to that company, to that restaurant, whatever it is, to employ you to do that job. Because at some point, the cost that they're going to have to pass on to the consumer is going to put them out of business. And I mean, that's you guys got the degrees on the wall. There is a limit to what you can pay.
Right. Well, I do think that this, I think COVID has taught us a lot of lessons, and we're still emerging from it. Lord willing, I hope we emerge from it completely here soon. But I think even certain industries, you take food service, for example, they're having to figure out how do we make more efficient the process of providing food service. I think they're trying to look at innovation. They can't. There aren't enough people willing to jump back into the the workforce, especially in that area. They're trying to find new, innovative, methods and methodologies to try to continue to keep their doors open. So we're definitely coming into this. Some people might say the worst time or the best time to be in workforce strategy development, because it's never been more important.
And God bless these people who are willing to work, man, because number one, you tend to work them to death, and then they get a little bit dismayed and leave, and you don't want that to happen. But we always had a saying that the strongest mule takes the heaviest load, and I heard that a long time ago. I've never forgotten it. 62,510, Garrett, is the number of jobs posted this morning on the Mississippi Employment Security's dashboard. 62,510.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Paul, I'd say, I don't know that there's any website, in the world that accurately depicts exactly the number of opportunities out there. But the message is clear. If you want to go to work, there's opportunity. And the real challenge for our office is making sure that those bridges between those folks who want to go to work in a better or paying opportunity actually are able to cross that bridge and get there, whether that be through training or, as we're seeing on a daily basis, as Ryan just alluded to, companies are getting creative. They're having to think outside the box. So we're talking to industries right now who have never, ever hired anyone unless they had X, Y, and Z on the resume. And now they're scrapping that, and they're saying, if they have X, then we'll take them and we will train them on the job. We will invest in them. We'll spend time in them, and we'll give them a path internally to where they may start at A and get to Z on the pay scale.
Yeah. We had Austin Golden and Jim Richards in a couple of weeks ago from trucking and the BART system. And, man, there's so many jobs out there. So many jobs out there.
Yeah,
They're willing to train you, not only train you, but pay you while you're being trained. The career is there, something that if it excites you and that's what you want to do, maybe not for the rest of your life, but you'd like to go on that adventure, the jobs are absolutely there. How are we going to shape this or reshape this or fine-tune this as far as the community colleges are concerned, Ryan?
Yeah.
Do we make changes in the future?
Oh, look, I think the community colleges have been a great partner of ours. Now, I just want to point this out. Today marks the 8th-month anniversary that I've been on this job. At day one, the community colleges have been a huge encourager, teammate, but the resources that they have and certainly the opportunities that exist within those 15 individual community college systems, there's no reason why anyone listening to this can't reach out to their local community college and find a path forward. And let me say this, along with our community college partnership. One of the things we got to do better is to celebrate those people that are working. You said, God bless those folks who are working. Yeah. Well, we've got some messaging coming out pretty soon. I think we're going to have a campaign that's really targeted at celebrating those people that are working hard every day, but are making a career path for themselves. We want to celebrate those people, elevate those people. We're going to use our partnerships in the community college to identify folks like that so that other people can see, I can do that. I see myself in that person, and I know now the path moving forward. I simply have to reach out to my community college or to my training institution nearby. Yeah. And I, too, can have a career that way. And so I think, to your point, how do we get people invigorated and back and re-engaged? We've got to celebrate the people who are working. We've got to pour ourselves into holding them up as being examples for others.
How would you grade our educational system as far as certainly middle school and high schools across the state, public and private and parochial for that matter, in spending time alerting these folks about the opportunities? Because to me, it seems like that's where one of the weak points happens to be. And again, another company that I will throw in was Taylor Machinery.
Sure.
My gosh, the opportunities in just about every facet.
Great company.
We always talk about Ingalls, and you can be anything from medical, health services to welding, pipe fittings, regardless of security. Whatever it happens to be, there are job opportunities there.